of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you.
Good evening and welcome to World Now at 4 on Hills TV. I am Uduak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, Osibajo happy with Nigerian physicians in diaspora. Still on the headlines, in Ghana, party plans Nkrumah's second burial. Also on the headlines, heat wave in India leaves millions in dilemma. And on sports, Osimhen others from shopping clubbing. And now the news in detail. Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osibajo has expressed delight with Nigerian physicians in diaspora over their contributions to healthcare at home. Osibajo's spokesman Laolu Akonde, in a statement on Thursday in Abuja, said the Vice President received at the presidential villa a delegation from Nigerian physicians in the diaspora. The delegation is from the U.S.-based Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas, that is the ANPA, and a team of Nigerian doctors from the diaspora, including those who have relocated back to the country to establish private hospitals. Osibajo said that physicians in the diaspora, especially in the U.S. and Americas, had contributed very considerably to healthcare in Nigeria. According to him, almost at every turn, they are contributing in terms of services in rural areas, medical teams everywhere providing all sorts of care, and these gestures have gone on for years. In his remarks, the commission, also led by the delegation, said they were happy that Nigerian physicians in the diaspora were looking homeward. On his part, the president of ANPA, Christopher Okunseri, described the organization as one that had been in existence over 27 years, registered in the U.S., representing over 5,000 dentists and physicians across the U.S. And now, moving away from that story, let's have you know, the Nigeria Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has stated that the current situation challenges in Nigeria are a threat to the foundations of the country's nationhood. Gbajabiamila, however, noted that the Nigerian government has responded to the challenges by taking certain measures, such as increasing funding for the police and the military and recruiting personnel for security agencies, amongst others. The Speaker said this in a paper he delivered at the School of Oriental Studies, London, as part of his ongoing official visit to the United Kingdom. A statement issued on Thursday by the Special Advisor to the Speaker on Media and Publicity, Lanre Lasisi, revealed that the most pressing of these challenges today is the national security crisis that threatens the foundations of nationhood and portends great danger for Africa and the world if it persists. He added that the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has responded to the reality of present challenges by increasing funding provisions for the police and armed forces, accelerating recruitment and training to put more boots on the ground, and also acquiring weapons systems designed to give the security agencies an advantage. The Speaker said after the Ninth House resumed, the scope of challenges was evident, matched only by the confidence that leaders would do what was required to overcome those difficulties and deliver the dividends of democracy for the Nigerian people. Still in the news, the new permanent secretary, that is the PERMSEC, Federal Ministry of Defense, that is the FMOD, Ibrahim Kana, has stated that one of his aspirations for the ministry is to see the deployment of more military personnel to take up key positions in the ministry, alongside their civilian counterparts. He stated this when he paid a maiden visit to the headquarters Nigerian Air Force, that is the NAF, in Abuja, the nation's capital. According to Kana, the right mix of civilians and military personnel working side by side at FMOD will reduce the bottlenecks usually experienced in handling and treating official matters affecting the services, while also enhancing cooperation and collaboration. He also stated that under his watch, special attention will be given to improving the standards of education and healthcare in schools and medical facilities run by the military in view of the critical roles these infrastructures play in enhancing morale among troops. While welcoming the new PERMSEC, the Chief of Air Staff, that is the CAS Air Marshal Oludayo Amao, congratulated him on his appointment and assured him of NAF's readiness to support him towards a successful tour of duty. He noted that going by the impeccable milestone achieved by the PERMSEC, as noted in his citation, he was confident that the needed synergy between the services and the FMOD would be much better. The CAS further stated that for the NAF and sister agencies, the culture of jointness in all joint operations has come to stay to support the PERMSEC. Now let's have you know the Nigeria's Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has joined the Kebbi governorship race. He declared for the seat on Thursday on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, that is the APC. He said he declared after finally accepting the calls of the people to become governor. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Still, stay with us. Back to the World Now at 4, and thank you for staying with us. The World Health Organization has said Africa is seeing an uptick in COVID-19 cases, largely driven by a doubling in cases reported in South Africa. South Africa remains the country that has recorded the most infections and deaths in Africa since the pandemic began. Benito Mpoma, Director for Communicable and Non-Communicable Diseases at the WHO's Africa office, told an online news conference on Thursday that new COVID-19 cases and deaths on the continent increased for the first time this week, after a decline of more than 2 months for cases and 1 month for deaths. But last week, cases started to pick up in South Africa, the country that has recorded the most infections and deaths in Africa to date, and health authorities there are monitoring for signs of a fifth infection wave. And now moving away from South Africa, let's head on to Mali, where Malian authorities have accused the French army of spying subversion when it used a drone to film what France alleged were mercenaries burying bodies near a military base. Mali's government said in a statement on Tuesday that the drone flew illegally over the Gossi base on April 20, the day after French forces handed the site back to Mali. Following this, Mali's military announced an inquiry into the discovery of a mass grave at the Gossi base. The army said it found the grave the day after the images were published and claimed the body's advanced stage of petrification ruled out Malian soldiers' responsibility. It subsequently accused France of spying and attempting to discredit the reputation of Malian forces with a drone-filmed video. Bamako said foreign aircraft, notably operated by French forces, had deliberately violated Malian airspace more than 50 times since the start of the year. We now move to other parts of the world after this break. Do stay with us. It is Hills TV and you're watching The World Now at 4. Canada is moving forward with efforts to pass legislation that would allow it to redistribute seized Russian assets to compensate victims of the war in Ukraine. Canadian Foreign Minister Mélanie Joly has said. Speaking to reporters in the capital, Ottawa, on Wednesday, Joly said Canada would become the first G7 industrialized nation to allow such asset forfeitures, and is proposing allies follow suit. Joly added that the proposed changes to Canada's sanctions regime, which were first outlined in a budget implementation bill unveiled on Tuesday, will go a long way to addressing that issue. Her comments came as Canada also announced that it imposed fresh sanctions on 203 people accused of being complicit in Russian President Vladimir Putin's effort to annex areas in Ukraine's eastern Donbas region. Russian forces launched a new offensive in that part of the country this month, prompting Ukraine to call on its allies to send heavy weapons to help it defend against Moscow's push. Canada, the United States, and the countries have promised to send more arms. Still talking matters in the war between Russia and Ukraine. More than 2 months into the war with Russia, it has already left a deep mark on many Ukrainians. Tattoo studios are seeing more and more people come to get patriotic images on their bodies to remember what Ukraine is going through now. Clients at one such studio in Lviv include soldiers going to war against Russia on Ukraine's front lines. And now let's have you know that millions of Indians are experiencing a brutal heat wave that is throwing lives and livelihoods out of gear, and there is no relief in sight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday told state chief ministers that temperatures are rising rapidly in the country and rising much earlier than usual. The India Meteorological Department, that is the IMD, has forecast a gradual rise in maximum temperatures by 2 to 4 Celsius over most parts of northwestern and regional India this week, with no large change thereafter. While heat waves are common in India, especially in May and June, summer began early this year, with high temperatures for March itself. Average maximum temperatures in the month were the highest in 122 years. Heat waves have also been setting in during the month. Meanwhile, Naresh Kumar, a senior scientist at IMD, attributes the current heat wave to local atmospheric factors. The heat has also triggered an increase in power demand, leading to outages in many states and fears of a coal shortage. Modi, in the meantime, flagged the increased risk of fires due to rising temperatures. Up next in The World Now at 4 is business news. Don't go away. Now it's that time to talk business on The World Now at 4. The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, that is the CPPE, has recommended that Nigeria should adopt concessionary financing instead of commercial borrowings. Concessional financing involves loans extended on terms substantially more generous than market loans. It is achieved either through low interest, grace periods, or a combination. They typically have long grace periods. Chief Executive Officer Muda Yusuf, who said this while commenting on the economy, advocated that concessionary financing compared to commercial debt, which are expensive, saying the rising debt profile of government raises serious sustainability concerns. The Debt Management Office, that is the DMO, had reported that total public debt was 39.56 trillion naira as at December 2021. About 11.3% of this debt is owed by the state and the FCT. Yusuf said the government should have the political will to cut expenditure and undertake reforms to reduce governance costs and ease the fiscal burden. Still talking business, this time in Senegal. Senegal Sovereign Wealth Fund is considering investing in neighboring countries after it starts receiving part of the oil and gas revenues from new fields in the nation. The $25 billion economy, set to start production next year, will allocate a minimum of 10% of the sector's revenues to the fund. Babakar Gning, Chief Investment Officer at the state-owned Sovereign Fund for Strategic Investments, or FONSIS, said in an interview. The law allows the fund to invest up to 25% of the assets under management abroad. The West African nation is battling on future oil and gas production to boost economic growth to 10% next year, according to Finance Minister Amadou Hott, who expects high growth levels for a sustained period thereafter. The International Monetary Fund sees the economy expanding 5% this year and 9.2% in 2023. The British government has delayed introducing checks on EU goods entering the UK over fears it will disrupt supply chains and add to rising inflation. Post-Brexit import controls on EU products had been due to begin in July, but the government said it would be wrong to impose new administrative burdens and risk disruption at ports at a time higher costs amid the war in Ukraine and rising energy prices. Brexit Opportunities Minister Jacob Rees-Mogg said the government was reviewing how it would implement checks on EU goods, and the new control regime will come into force at the end of 2023. According to him, the delay would saving British businesses up to €1 billion in annual costs. This is the fourth time it has delayed EU import checks since the UK left the EU. Still talking business, America's economy has unexpectedly shrunk in the first quarter of 2022, has shown on data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis today. The nation's gross domestic product, the broadest measure of economic activities, declined at an annualized rate of 1.4% between January and March, in an abrupt reversal of the prior year's strong growth. While one quarter does not yet make a trend, it is a warning sign for how the recovery is going. 2 straight quarters of declining growth meet a commonly used definition of a recession. It was a marked slowdown from the 6.9% growth pace recorded in the final quarter of last year, and the worst performance since the pandemic recession in the second quarter of 2020. Economists had predicted an annualized growth rate of 1.1%, according to Refinitiv. Much of the decline was due to decrease in inventory investment, which had been booming in the final months of 2021. Exports and government spending also fell, while imports rose. Consumer spending, which is vital to the economy, increased as prices kept rising. Still to come on The World Now at 4 on Hills TV is sports. Don't go away.
It happened last year when we had 7 finalists vying for the grand prize, M Grand 7 2021 model worth 11.5 million naira.
For the winner, season 1, Niger Boss Factor, John Idachola!
This year, it is even bigger and better.
My name is Joel Idadile, the winner of Niger Boss Factor Season 1. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you.
Register for the Niger Boss Factor Season 2 with the sum of 5,500 naira payable to GT Bank account number 0561 094 161. Send payment proof to WhatsApp portal number 0901 625 2525. Go to www.bossfm.ng to complete your registration. Call 0808 237 0000 or 0811 584 1500 for more information. Niger Boss Factor Season 2. Celebrate culture, celebrate life. Terms and conditions apply. 7 finalists vying for the grand prize. M Grand 7 2021 model worth 11.5 million naira.
For the winner, season 1, Niger Boss Fighter, John Idachola!
This year, it is even bigger and better.
My name is Joel Idajile, the winner of Niger Boss Factor Season 1. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you.
Register for the Niger Boss Factor Season 2 with the sum of 5,500 naira payable to GT Bank account number 0561 094 161. Send payment proof to WhatsApp portal number 0901 625 2525. Go to www.bossfm.ng to complete your registration. Call 0808 237 0000 or 0811 584 1500 for more information. Niger Boss Factor Season 2. Celebrate culture, celebrate life. Terms and conditions apply.
Niger Boss Factor Season 1!
Good evening and welcome to World Now at 4. I am Memu Cynthia Asoya. Syria outside Napoli has banned Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen and his teammates for social activities till further notice, if information published on the club Twitter account is any to go by. It was gathered that the Naples took the decision to outlaw the goal poacher and other members of the team in order to concentrate on forthcoming crucial matches capable of fetching the side next season's UEFA Champions League slot and top 4 finish on the domestic league table. A statement on the club's Twitter disclosed that the club has decided that starting from next Tuesday, the team will remain together on the training camp till further notice. Stressing further, the handle disclosed that the order was a directive by the team gaffer Luciano Spalletti, whose aim is to ensure his lads maintain a good run in the forthcoming encounters. The Gambia Football Federation, GFF, has requested that disciplinary proceedings be opened against Algeria coach Jamel Belmadi following derogatory remarks he made about referee Bakary Gassama. Belmadi appeared to encourage verbal and physical attacks on the Gambian official in a video posted by the Algeria Football Federation FAF saying that you have to kill him. Gassama has received criticism in Algeria for his decision during their 2-1 defeat by Cameroon in a 2022 World Cup qualifying tie on 29 March. A result which saw the North African miss out a place at the tournament in Qatar. The GFF said it had been following with grave concern the verbal attacks launched against Gassama. A statement from the organization said it had made a formal complaint to FAF and asked FIFA and Confederation of African Football, CAF, to open investigations and proceedings against Belmadi, who is 46-year-old. He said, "We have asked the Algerian Federation to make a public statement condemning the actions of Mr. Belmadi and all the verbal attacks against Mr. Gassama by Algerians." The GFF statement said it added that it should take all necessary precautions to restrain their officials and nationals for making any further negative remarks and threats against Mr. Gassama. Otherwise, their federation will be held responsible and complicit for any harm which may happen to him. Gassama, who is 43, has officiated at the past 2 World Cups and refereed 3 matches at the African Cup of Nations earlier this year. Still on sports, it is 2 years later that the planned NFL draft is finally getting to Las Vegas treatment. The annual selection of the best college players was initially set to be staged in Sin City in 2020, but the COVID-19 pandemic meant the 2020 draft was held virtually while a watered-down version took place last year. Now, all the glitz and glamour normally associated with what is a life-changing day for many young players is back. A red carpet stage has been constructed in front of the Bellagio fountains with the main stage built next to the Caesars Forum. From hundreds of hopefuls, 21 players have been invited to attend the first round of the 3-day event, which begins on Thursday. And for the first time in years, there is no standout among them, so it is anyone's guess who will have the honor of being the first name called out by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Still on sports, to Spain, where we have Barcelona now to move out of Camp Nou for a season during renovation. Barcelona will move out of Camp Nou home for the 2023-2024 season while the stadium is redeveloped. The Spanish club have received a permit for the city council for the renovation, and work will start in June. They will be able to play at an almost full capacity next season, but will relocate to the Olympic Stadium in Montjuic for the following campaign. Barca will return home in 2024 to 2025 season with capacity at 50%, and work is set to be completed in the 2025-2026 season. Barcelona's president Joan Laporta said demolition earlier would have meant having to play 2022-2023 season with just 50% of capacity. And that's your news at World Now at 4. I am Memo Cynthia Asoya.
Cynthia Sawyer for that sports input. Just before we go, let's take another look at our major stories. We told you Osibajo happy with Nigerians' physicians in diaspora. We also told you in Ghana. Welcome back, and thank you, Memo Cynthia Sawyer, for that one on sports. Just before we go on The World Now at 4 on Hills TV, let's take a look at our major stories. We told you Osibajo happy with Nigerian physicians in diaspora. We also told you in Ghana, party plans Nkrumah's second burial. we brought to the fore the fact that heat wave in India leaves millions in dilemma. And on sports, Napoli bans Osimhen, others from shopping, clubbing. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV, Instagram at Hills TV. Our YouTube channel is at Hills TV. I am Uduak Daniel. Thank you for watching.